Hello everyone, welcome to Scorched Earth Toys at anymoon.com's review of Kaiyodo's Revoltech YF19 and YF21 toys. These toys were released in June 2008 for about 1900 yen each. Coincidentally, that was the same month and year that Yamato released their GNU DAO, which I'm probably horribly mispronouncing. I apologize for that, toys. Those are them in the background there. So the Yamato toys retailed for 3,000 yen, so almost double what the Revoltechs did. Obviously they competed very closely with each other. I'll have an updated review on the GNU DAO toys in the short term future here. Anyways, back to the Revoltechs. They come with fast packs. The YF19's fast packs are colored the same as the YF19, which is a bit of a bummer. It would be nicer if they were gray like the YF21s. All toys came with a punching pinpoint barrier effect and effects to make it look like it was blocking some sort of artillery shot with those pinpoint barriers. So you have a couple different defensive pinpoint barrier pieces as well. They just pop into little holes on the shields, and this on the YF21 they pop into the same holes that are used by these fast pack parts. As you can see, as the toys are posed right now, they kind of are a little awkward in a pose that's just kind of standing still. That is not something they do well. They are very stylized interpretations of these mecha, and they do much better in extreme poses. Each toy also came with a display stand. It's a very basic display stand, but it comes in very handy with these toys. As I said, they look great in very dynamic poses. You can get them airborne in crazy dynamic poses, and that will look very good on your shelf, even though they are very cheap toys. Alright, so let's take one at a time here. These toys have build quality issues, as you would expect from something this cheap. Mine is missing a dot of glue on one of the legs fast packs. So this is supposed to be glued into that piece that just fell off. I'm just going to go ahead and remove the fast pack so you can kind of see what they entail. They just kind of peg in certain spots. Very simple yet effective. There we go. There you go. And here is the naked YF19. Again, doesn't do the best job just standing still. If you're looking for little comparisons to the GNU, there's things like this where you have a shoulder piece here that moves. You wouldn't have something like that with the Revoltech. That piece is just fixed, but it still looks fine. The Revoltech's major downfall are these big ball joints, but they're also the strength of the Revoltech, so there's a trade-off there. Usually they do a pretty good job hiding those balls. The shoulders usually are a perfect example of where they don't do the best job. Shoulders do allow a huge range of motion up and down, so you can get crazy extreme with it. And then, of course, you could spin them all the way around. There's no articulation below the shoulder until you get to the elbow. The elbow goes that far. The fun thing about Revoltech toys is you can kind of slide out the joint to get an even more increased range of motion. And you can also pull the joint out of the socket and rotate where it pivots. And that again helps you get into these crazier poses. Head goes left and right and up and down. There is a joint in the back. You have full rotation at the hip, except going back, you're blocked by the back of the YF19. You do have a knee that has a pretty good range of motion there, as well as the wings, again, on their own Revoltech joint. So the knee, you can also rotate at the knee. And you have feet joints, nice clicky. Again, you can pivot either direction. So when you start getting into crazy aggressive poses, the joints allow it, and it's actually a lot of fun to try to figure out the craziest pose you can get these toys into. But the more static you try to go with it, the more awkward it will look. You have to go with something fairly extreme. Toy obviously comes with a gun, and a few sets of fixed pose hands. And again, those pinpoint barrier pieces. So, all that said, let's look at the YF21. We'll take off the super parts like we did with the YF19. Simple, just pegged on super parts. There goes the whole wing there. 1 second. That one fits in a little better than you might anticipate. Alright, so let's get you out of there. Alright, so let's get these guys back into place. And now you have your regular YF21 toy, which is very similar to the YF19 toy, not in looks, but obviously in articulation. You have the shoulder Revoltech joint. Now you have a back plate that's kind of in your way as far as rotation goes. You have a joint in the waist again. You have the head joint. Again, the leg bay doors on their own Revoltech joint. Full rotation at the hip. Full knee joint that actually gets pretty aggressive there. Foot. And again, all of these Revoltech joints offer a twist as well as a bend. So very impressive stuff. And then again, you get your display stand. You prop the toy up. You have it doing something crazy aggressive. It's fun and it's cheap.